Another great follower is Black in the Empire. He's a really good account, very good leftist account, a very independent thinker. Let me show you here. 1 second. Hold on. Here it is. So he says this is not a drill. They are now stating that their goal is 98% vaccinated, which means that everybody against these mandates and passports or whatever tools they have planned had better start coming together. So my view on the whole vaccination debate and who should be vaccinated, who should not be vaccinated, I think it's really a very nuanced conversation, and I'm not obvious. I got the vaccine, so I'm not anti-vaccine, but I'm also not in favor of shaming people into getting the vaccine. I'm not into like, oh, well, you better get it. And if you don't, you don't care about other people's lives and stuff. I think it's much more complicated than that, because a lot of people just don't want to have things put into their bodies. And a lot of them say like it's, not cleared by the FDA, and it's not, is it the FDA? Whoever approves I think it's FDA, whoever approves the vaccines, but it's not, it's not cleared by the experts and stuff. Like, honestly, I don't know if that's the truth. They say it is, but it's like I'm very skeptical of that kind of stuff, and I'm not the kind of person who's just going to be like agreeing with whatever. Like, oh yeah, well I just need to do it because everybody else is doing it. And there's been a big debate kind of coming kind of. I don't know about it's not in the political, it's definitely not in the political world, but it's more in the sports world, where a lot of like athletes have refused to take the vaccine. And I think that's also a little bit complicated, because a lot of players, they don't want to take it because they don't have they don't have a belief in vaccines. And that's, I disagree with that, but I'm not going to be the type of person who says you should get it or else. But if you do want to get the vaccine, I don't think you should necessarily. That doesn't like automatically means like you should be allowed to play on the team. Because you can just go and play on another team. Go play on another team that allows their players to not be vaccinated, or go and play another league, whatever team, whatever it is. You don't have to play on that team. You have options for all kinds of different teams to play on. There's more than 30 teams pretty much in every at least men's professional league, whether it's soccer, basketball, football, hockey, and baseball. So they all have multiple teams. That's like upwards of 150 teams essentially, and you have a lot of options for teams. Actually, that's different, obviously, because there's basketball players aren't going to be playing on baseball teams, but you know what I'm saying? There's so many different teams out there. So you can, so like within that league, you could play for 29 other teams, essentially, at least. And, I think that's the fair thing to do as far as the players that don't want to, don't want to play on certain, don't want to take the vaccine and then like want to keep playing. They, unfortunately, you're out of luck. You just have to play on another team. That also doesn't mean you should be shamed into getting the vaccine. That's another thing. Like, you should definitely not be shamed into like, oh, how dare you? You're not pro-vaccine, or you don't want to take the vaccine. You're a terrible person. No, that's not what I believe at all. And it's really like the whole mandate thing, like the whole vaccine mandate. I don't believe, I don't really support it that much. I think, again, it's a very nuanced issue, and it's not as simple as just like, yeah, you should get it. It's one of those complicated things that people that are anti-vaccine, the people that are anti or against, they hate the people that don't get the vaccine. They need to be a little bit more understanding, I think, of people that don't want to get it, and just hear them out. Now, I don't, I think the right-wingers that are against it are much different than the left-wingers that are against it. Now, a lot of the people on the left that are on the liberal, shitlib, progressive, or whatever the fuck they are, a lot of them will say, oh, well, the people on the left are making anti-vaccine arguments. They're not making anti-vaccine arguments. A lot of the people that have these, that are making the arguments that are critical of the vaccine are not anti-vaccine, because a lot of them have the vaccine and are vaccinated. I know a lot of these people because they've said it on Twitter, and they've, whether they do, shows and podcasts and stuff, they're critical of the vaccine, and they've gotten it anyway. That's what's his name did. Jimmy Dore, for example, is one example. Jimmy Dore, who I know is hated by a lot of shitlibs and progressives on the left, but he got the vaccine and he was very critical of it. He went on Joe Rogan's show and criticized it, or was critical of it. He has kind of asked questions about whether, um, whether whether ivermectin is a good alternative and all that stuff, and then whether the um, big pharma should be trusted in this regard, whether we should trust them taking this vaccine, taking this vaccine that obviously that's they're profiting off of it. So all big pharma wants to do is they want to make a profit, and they want to get this vaccine out there, and then they want to make money off of people that take the vaccine. And if you don't take the vaccine, then they don't make that profit. And I totally understand that point of view as well. Now I don't think that's the point of view that like a lot of the athletes are taking. I just think they don't want to do it. I think a lot of them are taking it for like not taking it or not wanting to take it for religious reasons. So that's kind of different. But I don't care on principle. If you don't want to take it, if somebody doesn't want to take it, I can't tell you to take it. Do I support taking it? Yes, but that doesn't mean I'm going to force you to take it. It doesn't mean I'm going to shame you into taking it. I just think, and it's. I think I'm probably guilty of being a little bit of a flip flopper on it because, but it's. I see it more as evolving. Seeing other people's point of view and being like, oh, okay, I see your view, I see what you're saying, and this is what I think now. So I'm not a flip flopper. I just think it makes me look like a flip flopper probably. But I think I'm just more of. I think I'm just somebody that sees things at a more nuanced view, and I kind of evolve on my views.